let's get started on our feet. We'll start in mountain pose. So starting in mountain pose with our feet under our hips, our shoulders stacked on top. It's maybe a gentle bend in the knees. And feeling our tailbone tucked underneath us and our abdomen slightly engaged to keep us stable and strong. Taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and sighing it out through the mouth. Noticing the various parts of our body soften. And bringing our awareness to the gentle inhalation and exhalation through the nose. Noticing the energy of the body, perhaps a mood that we're bringing to the mat today, perhaps something that we've been chewing on, processing mentally and emotionally that we need to park, to allow ourselves to create mindfulness and headspace for faster and more efficient processing afterwards. Perhaps setting an intention for today's practice. Noticing when our minds become distracted and bringing our awareness back to the body and our physical sensations. Lowering our chin to our chest. We'll slowly roll left to right. Noticing any tension that we hold in our neck, down into our shoulders and upper back. Noticing how our shoulder might lift and lower. Finding our range of motion and our speed that feels good. Working through some of the cobwebs. And this next roll will hold, lowering our opposite shoulder, ear towards the shoulder, and perhaps we float the opposite arm out, we move our head around, just finding that spot where we need to bring awareness, nurturing it, giving it time to release energy that may be blocked. And we'll roll over to the other side. Again, bringing with us curiosity. Perhaps moving the head or the arm, whatever suits us. Listening to what our body tells us and doing that intuitively. Perhaps keeping our awareness on areas of discomfort Noticing how it transforms. And we release, bringing our chin back to our chest. And we'll roll our shoulders up, lifting our head, and we'll continue to roll the shoulders up and back. Bring the shoulders up into the neck. Feeling all those yummy sensations. And we'll switch directions, drawing the shoulder blades into the spine, up and around. 3, 2, 1. We reset, this time with our full arms, palms facing out. Inhale, drawing the arms back. Exhale, bring them back around to the front. Rotating palms open. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Our range of motion, our speed. Perhaps we're feeling really fluid and energized and we want to go a little faster. That's totally fine. Two more. Finishing those, and we switch direction, drawing the arms upwards and back. Adding whatever physical movements might feel good. Perhaps a gentle cat-cow. Opening the abdomen. Three more. And last one. We reset. Taking a deep breath in the middle, sighing it out. Bringing our arms parallel to the floor, opening. Deep breath in, exhale, we hug ourselves inwards, chin to chest, crossing our arms. Inhale, open, lifting our hearts to the sky. Exhale, we close, rounding into the spine. Inhale, open. Exhale, we close inwards, drawing energy towards us. Our speed, our range of motion, whatever feels good. One more. Each arm crosses in front. We come back to standing. Deep breath in through the nose and we sigh out through the mouth. Yum. Bringing our arms at 90 degrees in front of us, elbows in line with the shoulders. Gentle bend in the knees, and we'll shift our weight left to right. Gently twisting, waking up our spines. Keeping our abdomen engaged. Keeping those arms up, seeing if we can't keep them at 90, shoulder width apart. Three, 2, last one each side. We come back to center, hands to heart center. Deep breath in through the nose, we sigh out through the mouth. Beautiful. And we'll swim our arms, starting backwards and coming forwards. Option to sway, shifting our weight left to right. Again, changing patterns as we move through this gentle session in a floaty and dynamic way, listening to the body, getting into the side body, gently bending, twisting, rolling, and floating. Listening to the body. Good, and let's switch our arms back. And again, we can find that flow, that speed, that sway. Whatever feels good. Changing patterns. Breaking up energy. Good. 3, 2, last one. And we find ourselves in a widened stance. Deep breath in through the nose, sighing it out through the mouth. Either with our hands at heart center or floating, we'll shift our weight left to right, lunging gently, opening into the inner thighs. We find our flow. Perhaps we add an arm sweep. Perhaps we visualize a bubble of energy around us. Maybe we're making a bigger reach. Maybe we're sinking a little deeper into our lunge. Being curious as to how we're moving. 3, 2, last one each side. We'll come over to the one side, holding here. Flat back, elongating the spine. We support with our hands on our thigh and we open into the inner thigh. Oh, beautiful. Coming over to the other side, shifting our weight, coming into our lunge, supporting with our hands on our thighs, elongating through the spine. We check in with the inner thigh to listen to what it's telling us. Good, coming back to the first side. We can stay high or we come a little bit lower. Extending out the extended leg, lifting the toes to the sky. Option here to come a little bit lower. Again, we can find our hands on the mat for support. Sinking into the hips. Opening into the inner thigh. Oh, yummy. I'm getting that cheeky sip of water on the way. And we'll slowly push ourselves up with our hands. And we'll come over to the other side. Again, we start high, and if we feel like we can sink into it a little bit, we do so with curiosity, not forcing anything. Checking in where we need to be. Good. And we'll push ourselves back up, coming into the center, bending our knees, inhaling. Chest draws through. Exhale, we'll push into the back of our legs, hanging our head heavy. Inhale, we squat, bringing our chest and gaze through. Exhale, coming into the back of our legs, hanging heavy. We repeat this. Inhale, squatting. Exhale, straightening the legs, hanging heavy. Yum. Repeating with the rhythm of our breath. Gentle dynamic flow today. Moving the energy around. We'll do one more. We hang our head heavy, pushing into the back of the legs, toes pointing forward. And we'll lift our arms off the ground one at a time, alternating sides. Inhale, reaching up, twisting. Exhale, we come back. Inhale, reaching up, twisting, other side. Exhale, come back. Arm at 90. Or full straight arm reaching over our back as we push the earth away. Finding our flow. Gentle twists here. Feeling our inner thighs engage. They are awake, that's for sure. 3 more. 2 more each side. Last one each side right here. And we reset in the center. Bending our knees, pointing our toes out, we come into a sumo squat. Arms can come parallel to the floor. Palms facing up. And we'll inhale, reaching our arms up. And we'll exhale, sweep the arms down. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, we sweep down. Sun and moon flowers. Yum, keep it going. Option now to reach up with one arm and side bend, sweeping down. Opposite side, side bend, reach down. Our flow. Yum. 2 more each side. big reach. Get into the side body, feeling it wrap into lower back. Last one here. Good, and we come back into our sumo squat, palms facing upwards, tucking our tailbone in underneath us, drawing the hips open, knees are pressing back. We can see our toes maybe beyond our knees, and we'll pulse. Perhaps starting to dig into our Ujjayi breath. 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up, and we'll sweep left to right again. Oh, break that up, that'll feel yummy. Good, and we're gonna add a crescent lunge, so sweeping around into a crescent lunge, whichever side feels most natural. Good, holding here. And we'll sweep our arms up, so bringing them to heart center now. Inhale, sweep up as we stand up, straightening our front leg. Exhale, we sink down, lunge. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lunge. Working our stability, working our wiggles and wobbles out. One more. Good, coming back to our lunge, reaching our arms up. Checking in. We can see our toes beyond our knee. And we'll come over into a high lunge, sweeping the arms parallel to the floor, drawing the chest through. Beautiful. Good, sweeping over to the other leg, crescent lunge. We find our footing, reaching our arms up. And we bring our hands to heart center. Inhale, sweeping up, standing up. Exhale, bringing our hands back down. Inhale up. Exhale down, finding that stability of the back leg. Tall torso. Two more. Feeling the heat regenerating. Good, holding here. As desired, we bring our arms over our shoulders. And we sweep back, opposite leg, high lunge, arms come parallel to the floor. Feeling a little bit of heat in the legs. Good. Coming into a warrior two. Find our back foot planted, arms come over our shoulders, and then we open, gently shifting our hips, reaching our arms out parallel to the floor. Good. Our glutes are engaged. We can come into a side angle, bringing our back arm over our ear. Front arm comes to our thigh. We find our support where needed. Breathing into the side body and lower back. Finding that nice straight line between the fingertips and the toes on the same side. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Good. And coming into a reverse warrior, windmilling our arms back, keeping our front leg lunged. Finding a pose that's comfortable for us, listening to our body. Perhaps we have some niggles today that are not too happy with a certain position. We maneuver ourselves until we find what suits us, fitting the pose to our body. Good. And a triangle pose, bringing our arm to the inside of the leg, straightening both legs, reaching up as possible. We can support with our hand on our leg, or we can float, building strength. Whatever we need from today's practice, engaging the glutes, staying firm. Good. And let's come back into our warrior two. Warrior one, shifting our hips forward, reaching up. Good, and bringing the arms alongside the body. We sweep them back. Our torso hovers over our front leg. And we can come into a humble warrior here, interlacing our hands, lifting them, opening our chest. Gently bringing our torso towards the inside of the front lunged leg. Good. We come back up, standing, bringing our hands parallel to the floor. And we come into our gentle God Goddess squat, tucking our tailbone underneath our hips. Bringing our hands to our hips, we straighten our legs and we'll forward fold. Pushing into the back of our legs, letting our head hang heavy. Beautiful. And we slowly roll ourselves back up. We come to the other side for our warrior two, however we get there. Through warrior one or straight into warrior two. Bringing our arms parallel to the floor. Checking in with our hips, our glutes, that we can see our toes beyond the front leg. Beautiful. Rotating and revolving our front palm upwards, we come into a reverse warrior. Reaching that front arm beyond our face. Keeping our front leg lunged. And we come into our side angle. Back arm comes over our ear or our face. We find support on our front leg. Find that big long line between our fingertips and our toes. Keeping our hips tucked under, engaging the glutes. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Beautiful. One more big breath here. And we come over into our high lunge. Bring our arms parallel to the floor. Extending our torso, hinging into the hips. And it might be an awkward transition, but we're going to come into our triangle on the other side. Bringing our inside arm to the inner side of the leg, either supporting or reaching the upper arm over top of us. Listening to our body. Staying in the pose, supporting as needed. Good, hinging forward, we come into warrior one. And we've got our strong power warrior here. 45-degree angle of the body, sweeping our arms back. Good, let's straighten that front leg. Triangle pose, bringing our hands to the earth, shortening our warrior feet, or supporting on our thigh or our leg. Breathing into the back of the front leg. Perhaps our torso remains parallel to the floor, or at least elongating through the spine wherever we find ourselves. Beautiful. Bending the front knee. We're going to sweep around over to the other side, triangle pose, finding our footing, shortening it up as needed, and then our hands, we can come for support on our thigh or our shin, or we can bring our hands all the way to the earth. Seeing if we can't maintain a flat back. Gently pressing into the back of the front leg. Good. And we release, coming into a nice gentle lunge, lowering our back knee down. Maybe walking the front foot out a little bit for stability. Hands can stay on the earth, or they can come to our thigh, and we'll come into a hip flexor pose here. Bouncing, shifting, or simply coming into it, whatever feels good. We fit the pose to our body. Perhaps noticing some energy release in the front of that hip flexor. Maybe an easing of the clenching sensation. Good. We bring our hand to the earth. We walk our front foot across, bringing it over to the wrist. We lower the knee down. And we sink back, pigeon prep. Lifting our torso, keeping our hips forward facing, and we slowly come down onto our hands or our forearms, perhaps even our fists, allowing our lower back to settle in. Feeling all the energy in the back of the leg, perhaps down to the knee, across the lower back, being gentle as we ease our way in, surrendering to the pose, listening to our breath and letting it be our guide. inhale, lifting our torsos up, pushing the earth away. We roll over onto our hip. Coming into all fours. Shifting our weight left to right. Good. Coming to center. And we'll bring our opposite leg through low lunge. So finding our stability, sinking forward, coming off the knee as possible. We open up, coming down into the hip flexor, bringing our hands to our leg or to the earth for support. Easing our way down, noticing the gentle transitions, the releasing of blocked energy. Shifting or twisting as the body desires. Just taking the time that we need to work through our blockages. When we're ready, we can bring both hands to the earth. We can walk that front foot across and lower ourselves down. Walking our foot out, extending and elongating the torso. And we can slowly hinge forward, bringing our hands or our arms to the earth, allowing the lower back to settle in. Bringing our awareness to the breath and our physical sensations. And maintaining a gentle presence in this moment. Inhale, pushing the earth away. We roll over onto our hip, and this time we'll bring our feet in front of us, grabbing that cheeky sip of water on the way. As we extend our legs out, pointing the toes up. Making our way into a staff pose. Feet and calves are slightly touching, perhaps the knees. Inhale, reaching our arms up, deep breath in. Exhale, we'll bring our arms to the side of the body, reaching back, looking back. Inhale, reaching up. Opposite side. Exhale, looking back, reaching back. Inhale, reach back. Gentle transitions left to right. Keeping our gentle dynamic session and flow going. Breaking through blocked energy. Changing our patterns. Perhaps even our perspective. Two more on each side. next exhale, we'll hinge forward, reaching towards or for the feet. Option to pulse, option to find stillness in a passive pose here. Whatever suits us at this time. Tucking our chin to our chest. Settling into the pose, feeling the energy running along the spine. Feeling the weight of our head. Now we'll slowly stack the vertebrae, shoulders and head, and we'll lower ourselves down to the earth. Coming into a gentle bridge pose, supported bridge here, feet wide on the mat. We'll allow our lower back to settle into its natural curvature. And slowly windshield wiper the legs left to right. At our speed, perhaps we would rather hold one side and then the other. Or perhaps we're still feeling quite energized and we're going at a little faster RPM today. Totally whatever suits us. This is our practice. Noticing where we may have stickiness or heaviness, being curious and gentle. One more big breath. And we bring our knees back up. We'll hug them into the chest one at a time, bringing them both in slowly. Perhaps we rock side to side or we find stillness, narrow or wide, whatever feels good. Yeah, let's extend our legs over our hips, driving the heels up, toes pointed down. If we can hug it in a little bit and bring our chin to our chest, we might feel some energy down the back of the neck, upwards through the back of the legs, through the calves, into the feet. Perhaps we wiggle out our feet, pointing and flexing. And then we'll cross our left foot over our right thigh, hugging it in, threading the needle. Hands come behind the thigh or on top of the shin. And again, we can hug in, chin to chest, or release our head to the mat, whatever feels most accessible for us. Listening to the outer edge of that left leg. Bringing the right foot to the earth, coming into a gentle twist, either in figure 4 or in eagle, stacking the knees on top of one another. Arms we can float alongside our bodies, on our hips or above our head, melting ourselves into the pose. Again, bringing our awareness to any areas of tightness. Perhaps visualizing warmth of the sun, melting it away. Inhale, bringing the knees back to center, untwisting and hugging them in. Again, we can rock, pulse, or find stillness. And we'll stack our feet over our hips again, driving the heels up, hugging in as possible, chin to chest, flexing the feet, getting that full effect down the back of our legs. And we cross our right foot over our left thigh. We thread the needle and we hug it in. Bring our left foot to the earth. We come into our gentle twist, either in figure 4 or in eagle, whatever our lower back and outer edge of the leg is requesting. And again, we find a placement for our hands as desired. Maintaining our presence in this moment with our gentle focus on our physical sensations. Perhaps visualizing light, warmth, or even our happy place. Bringing our awareness to smells, temperatures, perhaps tastes. Using that tool anytime that we find ourselves in a bit of an uncomfortable situation. Untwisting out of this, bringing the knees back into the chest, narrow or wide, again, whatever the body craves. Wiggling out the feet. And releasing our legs to the earth, extending them long on the mat, finding our way into Shavasana. Noticing the contact the body makes on the earth below. And perhaps noticing a change in our mood or energy level from when we began this class. Perhaps something we had been working on mentally or emotionally is no longer as present. Or if we feel more centered and balanced, more mental clarity to take it on. Taking the time we need to imprint our practice here in Shavasana. When we're ready, we bring our awareness back to the space around us, the sounds, temperature, and smells. Hugging ourselves in, rolling over and up. We come back to an easy seated pose, to the community. Giving thanks for the opportunity to move our bodies in a gentle, dynamic manner, changing energy, clearing blockages, reconnecting with our physical sensations. Taking a moment to set an intention for the hours and days ahead. Remembering to access the tools that we build here on the mat in moments of complication or stress. Thank you for joining me today. I wish you a beautiful continuation. Namaste.